Hello guys, I'm Oluwafemi. Welcome to our SQL series. In this video, I'll be taking us through join in SQL, how you can join multiple tables together. I will be taking the mini project in the second module. That's the first mini project, the first question as a case study here. The mini project for data analysis and visualization for 3MTT for fellows, that's called 3. That's what I'll be taking as a reference. Now, the very first thing you're going to do is we're going to go to our questions. This is our question here. The question states provide the top 10 customer full name by revenue, the country they ship to, the cities and their revenue, and we have established that our revenue is order quantity times what? Unit price. Now this is the problem we want to solve with SQL codes. Okay, now the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to itemize those key points you can see in this question. Let me bring my notes. Okay, this is my notepad. Let me bring it here. Okay, let me bring this side by side to this. Okay, the very first thing we have is provide top 10. You just write top 10. Top 10. So it should provide top 10. And the next one is what? The cell should provide what? Customer full name. That's, you go down again, you write full name. Full name. Alright. Then we are asked to find the country chip to and the city chip to. You go again, you write country chipped to and the city chipped to. And I will check our question again. There we said and the revenue. So go write revenue. Then we can open a bracket and put order quantity, order QTY quantity times unit price. Then we close the bracket. This is what we are looking out for. So when you have identified all these things you're looking out for, then you can now go back to your SSMS and begin to do some visual inspection. What do I mean by visual inspection? Let's start with the full name. Let's go back there. Okay, let me just put this like this. All right, now the very first thing you're going to do is, let me just take this up. We're going to open up our database. You can see Adventure Works LT. This is what we're working with. Now you open the Adventure Work LT. We have opened it. Then we can open our tables. Now we want to check that table that contains our first name and last name. Now you check through which table comprises of our first name and last name. Because I've done this before, I have done understanding that it is right here, which is here. Now I can open it up. Now as I open it up, then you now look out for a primary key that is in this place. You can see there's our first name, middle name and last name. Then you look out for a primary key in this table, and the only primary key we can find here is customer ID. Now we have established this. Now you are going to check through your table again. Which other table can you find this customer ID? Then let's check through. because I've also done this before, I know my customer ID. I can also find it here. This is it. This is customer ID. This is customer ID. So this is directly telling us that this sales lt dot customer address and this sales lt customer, they can be joined together using this customer ID. All right, so let's do the demonstration properly. Or before that, let me take us through this rundown here. As I've explained earlier, what are you looking out for? You are looking out for the first name and the last name. Which table can you find this last name and first name? You can find it in sales lt.customer. We have established that already. Then we look out for primary keys. You can find the table where you can find your first name and your last name, which is this particular table, which I have done the demonstration in the SSMS. Now, the primary key we can find in that place is our customer ID. Now we have established this also. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to look out for any other table where we can find this particular customer ID as a primary key. Yeah, that's what we're looking at for. Then we now discover that we can also find that customer ID in this sales.customer address. So this is directly telling us that this table here can join with this table here using this primary key. That is just the simple implication of what I've explained. Now let's do the practical demonstration in our SSMS. Now, as we have said in the question, they said we should look for top 10. So you just write your select statement. Select. You write select top 10. Yeah, I've selected top 10. Now they went further that we should look for full name by revenue. So the next thing you're going to do is you type your first name, first name, then because we want to join together, we can use our plus sign. So I want to join with a space. I'll hit a space again. I'll put this apostrophe, a space, apostrophe, and I'll add my plus sign again. I'll put a space, then I can put my last name. That's last name. Yeah, I've established that. Now the moment I establish this, which table will I be able to get this? Now this will take me to my from statement. Then I'll go to from which table did we find this? We're able to find this on sales lt.customer. So I'll write sales lt.customer. I'll put my dots, then I'll go to I'll put my dots, then I'll go to customer. Now that is the table where we can find this, and we've already established that we also have a particular other table which we can join with this. Then we go down, then we'll put our join statement. Join. Now we're going to be joining this customer table with our customer address because we have a primary key that connects them, which is a what? A customer ID. Then we'll go down. We'll first write the table, one of the table where we have our customer ID. Because we've written this initially, then let's write the second one, which is sales LT dot customer address dot customer address dot customer address. Now, on what are we joining it? We are joining it on the sales LT dot customer because it is this same table that has the customer ID, and the customer address also has the customer ID. So we're going to join it on sales dot customer dot customer ID. This is what you're looking for. Then equals to this address. Then we'll put our sales LT dot customer address dot customer address dot customer ID dot customer ID. We have been able to establish this joining where we can find our first name and last name. Let me give this an alias. That's as what? Full name. Okay, we've been able to establish that. Now, this other thing we are going to do is we are going to go back to our table. Let me take us back to the notes I took here where I established that we are to look for top 10 by what? Full name by revenue, which we have gotten our top 10. Then the second one is the country they are shipped to and the city they are shipped to. So let me take us to the SQL I did. Now we have established that we are looking for the country and city, and which table can we find this country and city, which is what? The table sales LT address. Now when we open our sales LT address, what can we find? We can actually find a primary key because we're looking out for a primary key, which is, and we discovered that the primary ID of the primary key is the address ID. Now we have established this. Now we are going to look further and check for any other table that we can find the address ID as a primary key. And we discovered also that it is the sales LT customer address that has this what? Address ID. So this is directly telling us that these two tables here can be joined together using this primary key address ID. Now let's go and do the demonstration. Okay, now let's put a comma here, then we'll hit our enter. Now the other one is we want to bring in the country region, that's the country chip, and the city chip. Then we can start by this because we already know the table. Like the table is sales LT dot address. That is where the table is. So you can type sales dot address dot country region. This is where we can find this. That is where we can find the country ship. Then let's do an aliasing. That's as shipped country. shipped country. That's the listen. Then we can put a comma. Now we're asked to find the city, so I can copy this because they are both in the same table. I can copy this and I'll paste. Then the only thing I'll change here is I'll change this to city. I'll change this to city. Now I've been able to do that. Now I'll come down here and come and join that table together under here. You know, we have established that this address ID, we can find it in two tables. We can find it in this table and also in this table. So our aim now is to join this these two tables together using the address ID. So let's go back to that place. So what you're going to write is you write your join, then you go down again. So you write your sales LT, which is the table where you can find the address ID. You write your sales LT dot address, because that is where you can find the ID address. Now you are joining it on the sales dot address ID, on the sales LT dot address then the ID that you're connecting with, that's the address ID. Then you put your equals to sales customer sales LT dot customer, then dot customer address. Yeah, it should be customer address. Yeah, customer address dot customer address dot address ID. Now we have successfully joined that table together. Okay, we have joined that table together. Now we'll go further to explore our table, what we wrote earlier. Now what we are looking for right now is the revenue, which we did here, which is what the order quantity times unit price, order quantity times unit price. So we'll come up here and we'll come down, we write, we open the bracket, we write order QTY times unit price times unit price. You can close the bracket. I'm going to give this an alias, that's as revenue as revenue. That's that. Now we've also established which table can we find this our quantity and our unit price. We said we can find this in our sales order. Let me check. Sales order. Yeah, we can find it in our sales order details. That is where we can find it, and this is the key that is connecting them, which is sales order ID. Is connecting them. Which other table can we find this sales order ID as a primary key? Then we went further to go and open our sales order header. Our sales order header as that sales order. You can see this is sales order ID and this is sales order ID. That means that this sales order details and this sales order header can actually join together, and they're compatible. You can join them using this primary key. That's what we're going to do. So since we have established this, we're going to do the sales the sales order details. Let's join the sales order details. Yeah, sales order detail on the sales order ID. Now we'll come down, we join, then we'll hit enter again. Then we write sales LT dot sales order details, sales order details. We're joining it on the sales order details dot sales order ID, sales order details dot sales ID, sales order ID, then we'll put our equals to sales LT dot sales header, sales order header, sales order header, yeah, this sales order header dot sales ID. That's sales order ID, sorry. So we've been able to do this. Now I'm having an error flag here, and I think the reason why I'm having this error flag is because I have not joined my sales order header using the customer ID, and that is what I'm going to do here. Let me do it here. Let me press enter while I write my join, then I hit enter again. Then I can join my sales order header using my customer ID. I'm going to join my sales order header with my sales customer, that's my customer table, and my sales order header together using my customer ID. So I'll write sales LT dot sales header. I'm going to join it on the sales customer, on sales LT dot customer ID, then equals to the sales LT that's the sales LT dot the sales order header dot the customer ID, yeah. I've been able to join that together also. So this is what is expected of us, because we already have our select statement here, which is talking about the full name, which is the combination of the first name and the last name, and also the sales, that's the chip address and the chip country. Okay, this chip city. Okay, let me change this. I didn't check that. Chip city. Okay, I've changed that to chip city. Then this is our code. And don't forget, let me just do a rundown of this. you check out for your lookout value. What are you looking out for? Because in the first question we are asked that, okay, look for top 10, full name by what? By revenue. And for you to get your full name, you need to combine your first name and your last name. And you ask yourself, which table can you find this particular um this particular last name and then first name? You discover that you can find it in saleslt.customer, which is here. Then you look out for a primary key when you open that table. The moment you open that table, the very first thing you look out for is a primary key. Which primary key can you find? And you discover that you can find your customer ID as a primary key. Then you go further by saying that, okay, you look out for any other table where you can find this customer ID as a primary key. You understand? And we discovered that we can find this customer ID as a primary key on this table, which is what saleslt.customer address. So this is directly telling us that we can actually join these two tables together using this primary key. And the same goes to this one also. We know our quantity and this our price table. We can find all this quantity and unit price. We can find it in this table here. That's sales lt.sales other details. That is where we can find it. And when you open it, you are going to look out for a particular primary key. And when we opened it, this was the primary key we found out. And we went further. Now we're looking for any other table where we can see this as a primary key. Then we discover that we can find it in what? In sales lt.sales order header. That is where we can find this sales order ID as a primary key. So that was how we were able to arrive at this code. So very quickly, let me run it because I think we are done. Let me run it. Now I've run the code, but something looks so very, very unusual. I'm having United States as my chip country and my chip city, or okay, although changed. But because I've checked this data before, I've checked the whole thing before. Okay, let me do something. Let me quickly do something. Select all from which table? Let me select from this. Okay, let me select from this. Trophy. Okay, let me select this. Yeah, let me go to the price. Let's check this price together. So that we'll be able to get what I'm trying to say. Let's check it together. Okay, let me just use select. Okay, don't let me do further don't let me further stress us. Let's just look at it critically together. I'm just trying to take us through the figures so that we'll know that the figure we got earlier is not actually correct, because it's not even bringing out the highest value. That's the highest revenue that is supposed to supply for us. Because if we can see, if you multiply this together, you get something more than what we are seeing here. You can see you get something more than what we're seeing here. So that is where we need to add some things to our code, and that is why you need to add, let me delete this, I don't need you. So that is where you need to add our order by. You need to order by revenue, in descending order, So let's run again and see what really happened. Okay, let me execute. You can see, I hope you can see, everything changes and we are having a realistic value here. So that's all for this series. That's for the join. Thank you for watching, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please kindly do. And if you love what I do, please kindly give me thumbs up and share this demonstration for other people to learn. Thank you very much.